Nader, I want to jump right to you because I hear that you've got the latest on the drama between Mayor Brandon Johnson and CPS CEO Pedro Martinez. What's happening?
Yeah, so we were expecting some news to potentially come today, and it has. The mayor's office has now confirmed that every single member of the Chicago Board of Education is going to resign later this month. They're staying on while replacements are found, but this is a pretty stunning
Wow.
development. The
That's
entire board is resigning.
everyone.
There's no one left on the Chicago Board of Education.
Is this what you were expecting?
Something along these lines. We had heard different numbers the past couple weeks, whether it would be 3 and then 6 and now all 7. But I think there's no sort of minimizing what this is. The entire Board of Education is resigning.
Wow.
And this is Mayor Brandon Johnson's handpicked appointed school board. It's a board that has been working hand in hand with him to implement his progressive education agenda. In many ways, we've called school boards sort of rubber stamps for mayors in the past.
Mm-hmm.
This one definitely was, because they had the same vision going in. He appointed a lot of sort of people with activist backgrounds, a lot of and advocacy backgrounds, people with expertise in special education, in community schools, in Black student achievement. And they had the same vision, but this strife that we've talked about the past couple months and especially the past couple weeks, it came to a head and the entire school board's resigning.
Wow. I mean, how does this reflect on the mayor?
It's a bit of an embarrassment, and I think we need to sort of put it in context and understand why this is happening. We reported last week the school board isn't huge fans of Martinez. They've had problems with him. There was a performance review last December that laid out a lot of areas they wanted to see him improve. They aren't happy with him, but we also, through our sourcing, the statement today, nobody's saying this publicly right now, but the board also was unhappy with the mayor's handling of this situation. They are sort of in this difficult position where they're unhappy with the school CEO, but they're not able to move at the pace that they want. And so it sort of was a mutual thing. They're upset. The mayor's upset that he's not getting his way. His orders aren't being followed by his appointed school board. And so there's this parting of ways that's happening.
So in a month, they'll be on for a month. That leads us into the election. But of course, anybody who's newly elected doesn't start till January. Do we know, Nader, what they'll do in the interim? Will we just not have a school board?
There will be a school board. We're unclear what happens to the board meetings this month. The current school board members, our understanding is they are going to stay on for a little bit longer so that there's a bit of a smooth transition between them and the new board. But
because there would be kind of a 2-month gap in there.
Yeah,
right?
And there's no doubt that there needs to be a school board in place. The school district can't continue without a school board in place. So I don't want to overstate the sort of disruption on governance. They're going to find school board members, but I mean the timing of this too, like we said, it's a month out from the city's first ever school board elections.
Right.
Where 3 months out from the first elected school board members being seated. And like we said earlier too, the mayor is going to have to appoint 11 school board members. So this might be an opportunity to find some early candidates that'll stay on.
Wow. So is this a revolt on their end, or do you think Johnson asked them to resign?
It's like we're saying, it's a little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
I'm not sure if I would call it a revolt, but I know 7 members it's a pretty big decision.
This is what Governor Pritzker feared, isn't it?
Yeah, he did say that he wanted to see them stay on. He wants everyone to sort of put students first. And there's no doubt that this sort of drama, this continuing escalation has been a distraction for the school district. And you never know how much like individual families, individual parents, and students are distracted on a daily basis. They might be. I mean, it's always tough hearing about change at the top of the school district and what it might mean for schools. But yeah, it's something that's dragged on, and now this is just the latest chapter.
I don't know if this heartens voters to really then go to the, for the school board elections, or if it just discourages them even more. It's just, drama with a capital D is just not something you want to continually hear about your school board and your mayor.
Right. And we just talked a moment ago about the teachers union contract talks, Nader. I mean, how does this impact that?
Well, for some people, I want to start with Pedro Martinez, because for some people, they might think, oh, this is a win. The mayor's entire board is losing, is resigning, excuse me.
A win for whom?
Yeah, people might think it's a win for Pedro Martinez. Like, he won this battle with the mayor. The board is leaving, and, it's a protest of the mayor.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the people that are going to be appointed now, their sort of number one task for the next couple months is probably going to be to fire Pedro Martinez. So it's hard to see that as a win for him. And then because of that, for the Chicago Teachers Union, if Martinez is fired, they've called him the biggest obstacle to landing a deal that they want. And so if the Board of Education, they choose to do a couple things that the mayor's asked for, like take out a loan to help pay for a Chicago Teachers Union contract for this year.
A high interest loan.
Yeah, a high interest loan. The purpose of that would be to avoid cuts, because, Pedro Martinez hasn't built in room in this year's budget for any CTU contract. And so if they want to add spending, there are going to have to be subsequent cuts, which could mean furloughs. It could mean cuts to staffing at schools. So it's a step for the CTU closer maybe to landing a contract, but it's not a step toward solving this all, because CTU still has to reckon with the fact that CPS has a funding shortfall.
So if all these Board of Ed members but one are Johnson's picks, I mean, what exactly is he looking for? Is this simply a rubber stamp?
Yeah, I think there's this sort of thinking on his part that I appointed this board. We've seen boards do this all the time. Whatever the mayor wants, whatever the CPS CEO wants, they usually work in tandem. Not so much this time. The board, approves whatever we want. Stacey Davis Gates, the CTU president, she's said, why can't Pedro Martinez take out a loan if he, as chief financial officer of CPS in the past, has taken out loans? Why can't he do this if school CEOs have closed 50 schools in predominantly Black and brown communities in the past? If they've outsourced janitorial services, all these things that people have seen as harmful to the district, why can't Pedro Martinez do this for us now? And, it's a difficult conversation, because Pedro Martinez is responsible for the school district. And so if that funding doesn't come later, it falls on his head that he put the district in a very difficult financial position moving forward.
All right. Well, you can continue to follow this story from the breaking news that the entire Chicago Board of Education is resigning later this month, to what the fallout will look like by staying tuned right here to 91.5 FM. Our education reporters Nader Issa of the Sun-Times and Sarah Karp of WBEZ, they're going to keep bringing you the very latest on this news.